Detroit Become Human has been ineptly described as an action-adventure game, a clear example of why this is not an easy gaming experience to classify within the fledgling multimedia new art form that we perhaps inaccurately describe as video games. The most prominent difference between video games and any other media, such as film, books, comics, paintings, theatre, dance and music, is that it creates an interactive bridge between the user and the art form itself. Although other art forms can indeed be interactive, for example a crowd singing along to an artist's song, the virtual reality of the medium affords players the ability to create a stronger interactive and immersive link than with any other media. Detroit Become Human, like its predecessors Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, forces us to look at the description video game. What is a video game? Is it actually a game? Are there stringent and fixed rules? Balanced, fair and predictable outcomes, prerequisites to being able to play. Even further, we can then begin to ask, what is a game? Is it a pastime, entertainment, something else? The immersive and interactive ability that has strengthened over time as hardware and software has evolved is the stumbling block. The fact is, we haven't been playing games for over a decade now. We've been immersed in interactive experiences. Detroit Become Human leans heavily towards interactive cinematic storytelling and away from being a game, whereas games such as The Last of Us and Red Dead Redemption 2, although relying heavily on cinematic cutscenes to progress story, still lean heavily towards being games. The game director David Cage has been negatively criticised often for an inability to write and seemingly fixated on actions within his games that many players find ridiculous, actions such as making a bed or brushing teeth. At a superficial glance, it does seem that these are pointless time-wasting animations and actions that have no place within the experience. That is, though, at a superficial level of observation. When watching a film or TV series, as viewers will hardly notice the inclusion of these actions, but all of those have to be thought about, written, filmed and compiled within the rest of the film. Their purpose is largely to help the audience suspend disbelief and immerse themselves within the experience. Even in the extremely fantastical films such as Lord of the Rings, actions such as handkerchiefs used to blow noses, having food and drink, etc. all help to make the world and the characters more believable. Whether or not, though, the inclusion of these actions within a gaming experience actually helps a player become more immersed or actually results in the opposite effect, becoming more detached or estranged from the experience, is open to debate. It is an example, though, of that which makes the Quantic Dreams series of games, Fahrenheit, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls and Detroit Become Human, distinctly different to the vast majority of other games released. Detroit Become Human explores ideas about androids, the projection that at some point humans will have successfully created human-like independent machines with such advanced artificial intelligence that they begin to emulate or feel emotion. Ever since the publication of Philip K. Dick's 1968 novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, there have been many explorations of the ideas and themes that he wrote, most notably Ridley Scott's Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049, and touched upon in games like the Mass Effect series. Detroit Become Human centres itself within this influence, making no apologies and focusing on the possible social ramifications and consequences of such a future. The movement towards an interactive film, for want of a better description then, creates advantages and disadvantages. The graphics are almost overwhelming. The attention to detail, environmental design, character modelling work, lighting and effect work all shine through, and yet it almost all washes over you, as the story and the decision-making processes, which form the bulk of the gaming experience, can sometimes prioritise themselves in such a way that you don't fully appreciate everything around you. Cutscenes flow in and out of the player's decision-making and exploration segments seamlessly, with the voice acting, motion and facial capture work being amongst some of the best of this generation.
You're angry, Daniel! You need to trust me and let me help you. I don't want your help! Nobody can help me! All I want is for...
All of this incredible work, though, comes at a cost, and that is most notably in the restrictions to where you can go and what you are actually able to do. This is a combination of the physical limitations imposed on the software by the current hardware, and importantly, that the structure of the game is pushing you through a continual story. Then again, Quantic Dream aren't creating another Mass Effect or Fallout 4, they're creating a different type of experience. There's some really nice and unique touches here, for example using real-time rewind and fast-forward video effects applied to virtual 3D model representations. Philip Shepard, Nima Fakara and John Pisano create a stunning cinematic soundtrack that perfectly complements the emotional movements and moods within the game's structure. This then is not an action-adventure game, but an interactive immersive experience merged with game devices. If you are looking for something truly different and refreshing from the vast majority of other gaming experiences out there, you need look no further. Detroit Become Human is an engrossing and rewarding cinematic experience.